Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Scorpio, December 1st to the 15th, 2021, Scorpio. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Lovers, which is Gemini energy. So if we have Gemini within our natal chart or within our lives, they come through very powerfully at our root, and that part of our personality comes through very powerfully as a rooting part of us. Then we have the Mystic, which is the High Priestess, and this is the veil being lifted from our eyes, us seeing things so much more clearly, so much more openly than we were before. We have the Five of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. We're going to have to face something we've faced before. We have been working towards this, and we have been, building up our skills and our precision to be able to face whatever it is that's coming over here. So just be aware of that. We have the Three of Swords, so we still feel inadequate at times. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles, but we're getting a gift of prosperity coming forward. But we have to look at the past and be able to acknowledge certain things to be able to embrace our happiness and what we desire. The Five of Pentacles is in the public arena. There's a poverty mentality. There's almost a sense of, I'm not getting what's rightfully mine, really coming forward. And there's a need to address this. And then we have the King of Cups. It's like after this is addressed, all of a sudden we are the king, we are the ruler, because the King of Cups represents us in the minor arcana as we are represented by the Death card in the major arcana. So let's look at the energy we have to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So it's the Prince of Pentacles. I don't know what it is about money during this time that is going to be something that's just a bit complicated for us. This is going to need somebody to read over documents. Like if we're going to sign anything, make sure we read them twice, or we have somebody else there to look them over. If we need a lawyer, that's going to be something that's going to be needed during this time, because they're going to be hidden words within documents, within agreements that we are going in, and it could be on good faith, and the person has schemes going on. So just make sure you double check everything just for your own well-being, just for your own health and benefit, prosperity and benefit. Let's look at your chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. It's creativity. This is the sacral chakra, and this is where a lot of negative energy is held within this life and within our past lives. So there's a lot of baggage that can be held in our sacral chakra. Our sacral chakra also has to do with our sexual, sensual, and creative energy. So as we're embracing the creativity within us, we're embracing our passion to move forward. We're embracing, what we want from our lives and what we're absolutely done with. And we're starting to see things in a way that's a breakout, in a way that's opening up doors for us, in a way that's leading us forward. So on the 1st of December, let's start astrologically here. On the 1st of December, we have Neptune going direct, which means that it comes out of retrograde. And this draws us closer to the close of the time of spiritual and psychological transformation. This is the time of spiritual and psychological transformation. We have brought to the forefront so much of our hidden spiritual gifts that this is going to be a time where we're kind of searching through everything. We're looking at things and we're seeing where we stand in certain subjects or with certain desires and where we don't, where our opinions have changed, where we're seeing ourselves move forward towards something more. On the 4th of December, we have Mercury opposite Lilith. Now, this is a time that can be a bit frustrating, especially since we have Gemini energy here at our root, meaning that Mercury plays a big part in our lives during this time because Gemini is ruled by Mercury. This time with Mercury opposite Lilith brings miscommunication and frustration because of the miscommunication, because of the sense of feeling unseen and unheard, and we're going to need to be honest with ourselves of what we want and where we want to be. Do not let other people define our work and who we are, because it's going to be so easy to just kind of hand that off to somebody else and be like, don't worry, they got it. And they don't. They just simply don't. Also on the 4th of December, we have the new moon and a solar eclipse, which we'll go into more in depth in another reading. Now, on the 6th of December, Mars is sextile Pluto. This is a tremendously driven and determined time. So this is a time where we feel capable of achieving any goals. We can almost feel unstoppable, but we're also going to see that we want our own way almost above anything else, above compromising, above, understanding other people and what they want and what they need. So it makes it a frustrating time for us because we're so driven and we're just kind of like, if somebody could just see it our way, if we can just explain it enough that they see, that they understand, that they embrace what we are doing, then everything will be okay. But since everybody feels this way, it's a time of over-explanation and it's a time of frustration. The way that we can really get things done is if we embrace our powerful confidence and come into alignment with the way that we want to move forward and understand that perfection isn't going to be possible. It's just not. On the 7th of December, Mercury is squared Neptune. Again, powerful because of the Gemini energy here. This is a time when walking in the waking world almost seems off. It seems odd. This is a time of dreams and dreamers. This is a time of imagination and coming up with new ideas, with what we love. We're really focusing on the bigger picture of where we want to be. This is a day where communication can be jumbled and we can feel as if we're not really hitting our goals the way that we want to. So on the 8th of December, Mars is squared Jupiter. Now, Mars always has a bit of an effect on us, Scorpio, because back before Pluto was found, Mars was our ruling planet. So Mars has a bit of a pull on us, more so than other signs do. So here, with Mars squared Jupiter, this is a very positive time and has profound creative energy coming forward, which we're going to be very attracted to. This time is enthusiastic. It brings us strength and courage and sensuality. We need to make sure that we stay in alignment with ourselves and our energy, because if we don't, the magnitude of the force of this alignment can almost be it can almost encompass us. It can almost feel like we drink too much coffee, we're jittery, we're not sure how to move forward, we're not sure how to get to where it is that we want to be. We have all this energy and almost no place to put it. So we also need a creative and physical outlet during this time, or a physical outlet during this time, to be able to really balance what we want and the way that we want to move forward. On the 11th of December, Mercury is sextile Jupiter, and again, coming through strongly because of the Gemini energy. This is a time of questioning and curiosity. An open mind and non-judgmental attitude is what we all have during this time. We're acquiring knowledge and we're looking to see what's useful to us and what isn't, what we need to move forward in and what we don't. This is also a time of travel because Mercury rules short trips and Jupiter rules long trips. So we're going to want to explore and we're going to want to ask questions. Also, on the 11th of December, we have Venus conjunct Pluto. Very powerful for us because we are ruled by Pluto. This brings love and karmic love to the forefront of our day. We start to really become aware of our hearts and our heart chakras. And as a water sign energy, Scorpio, when we are aware of our hearts, when we step into our hearts, we feel more at home. We're going to have to look at the turmoil that we've been going through and also undealt with scars. And that's coming up very profoundly within our heart. There's something here that we've just pushed down, and Spirit's saying, no, you have to see it. You have to look at what is needed. And if we don't, this can knock us off our game. Also, as we do look at these scars, it can also knock us off our game because we're starting to see things more openly and more honestly, and we're really bringing to the surface what we wish would just disappear. So we have to be careful with handling this. On the 12th of December, the Sun is squared Neptune. We are being forced to see and call out our own weaknesses, which can be something that we don't like to do. Most definitely. But when we start to stand up for ourselves, as we see our shortcomings, we also start to see our strengths. We also start to see what we desire from our lives. This is a day when we find our voice, even when we're shaking on the inside, even when we think, I just can't move forward, I just can't get to that place that I want to be. All of a sudden, there's a certain strength to us. There's a certain, determination to us that we didn't know we have. We are astoundingly sensitive and caring today. So we have to make sure that we also use that sensitivity and that caring to focus on ourselves for self-love and for self-care. On the 13th of December, Mercury enters into Capricorn, which again is going to be powerful for us because of this Gemini energy at our root. This makes us astoundingly methodical in our thinking and the way that we want to perceive the world and move forward in the world. It's almost like we want to have spreadsheets for everything and just be able to move forward, checking off things on a checklist. There's almost no room for laughter or fun, so we're going to have to really work against that because that's not where we want to be, Scorpio. We want to embrace our heart and our happiness and what we really desire. As we do this, we need to make sure that we step back and step into our heart because, again, if we get too focused on the logic, to focus on what we think should be happening, we miss the bigger picture. This is going to be a time when communication and speaking kindly isn't people's main concerns. They want to get things done. They want to move forward. And if they run over us in the process, or if we run over them, it almost feels like, well, that just had to happen. So just be aware of this, that we can be a little bit cutthroat on this day and people can be a little bit more cutthroat than we want them to be. On the 13th of December, we have Mars entering into Sagittarius. And remember, we have that pull with Mars because we have that ancient connection to being ruled by that planet. This brings a maddening duality. There's this loving, playful side of Mars and Sagittarius, but then there's also this extremely intense and aggressive side of these two alignments. What we find is that we feel things very strongly and that we need to see things from other people's point of view, but we find it very hard to see anything from outside of our own vantage point, outside of what we want and we're passionately going after. We need, again, to have that physical and spiritual outlet because once we do, we feel the energy, the fire of this planet kind of cooling down, kind of stopping overwhelming us. And we need to be forward thinking and understand that follow through might not be the easiest thing for us because we're going to have so many burners on, we're going to have so many pots on the stove, and we're not just going to be able to watch them all. We're going to get sidetracked and things are going to boil over. And so we just have to make sure that we are aware and not biting off more than we can chew. On the 14th of December, Mars is opposite the North Node. Again, that strong pull because of that ancient connection. This is a time when the intensity of Mars needs to be tempered by the compassionate peace of the North Node. Mars has us looking at action and doing, while the North Node brings to the surface our motivations to work out our karmic debt and to grow as a spiritual being. This is a great time and a great place to grow and transform because we have the doing as well as the introspection coming over. But what we have to realize is that if we can balance doing and watching, listening and understanding, we can really feel ourselves move forward to a place that we really want to be, but almost felt like was always going to be denied us. So this is a breakthrough time. We have love coming in at our root. We have the lovers coming forward. Spirit is saying here, fall in love with your life, fall in love with your passion, fall in love with what you want and what you desire, because this is a time to see things not as we wish they were, but as they truly are. To embrace the passion and the beauty and the intensity of where we want to be in our lives and how we want to move forward in joy and connection. There's also a sense here of being very mindful of how we're going to want to be, loved by everybody, how we're going to want to connect, and how we're going to want to just be able to be that good, right person for everyone. And we're not going to be able to. There are going to be people who are mad at us. There are going to be times where we are frustrated and overwhelmed. Stepping into love with our lives and ourselves, stepping into our own internal peace, that's going to be profound and a very big deal. With the High Priestess, the veil is being lifted from our eyes. We're seeing things more openly and more honestly than we have before. We're also not going to have time for lies and for naysayers. We're going to be looking at things in a way that is more aligned with us, but also in a way that we hadn't seen them before, in a way that has us looking at a bigger picture, a broader expanse, a greater understanding of what we want. We're going to be looking at ourselves with a newfound honesty, but also with a newfound intensity. There's going to be this sense of, I see me. I see me more than I have before. I'm starting to step into me. I'm starting to embrace who I am and what I love and what I want. And as we do this, and as we embrace this, and as we understand this, we start to step into our power. We start to see the mask being removed from other people's faces. And as we do, we're not seeing what they want to project forward. We're seeing who they truly are. This can be unnerving. It really can be. As we step into the High Priestess realm, we see things not as, everybody so desperately wants to present it, but we see things as it is. And that could be scars, that could be hurts and pains and disappointments. The strength that we thought we had might not be there. And this is a time where we're looking at things in utter honesty. And we're saying the power is within me. We're facing a battle that we have faced before. Now that can be to have to be strong. That can be to have to see things in a way that is unflattering, but also is determined and focused and driven forward. We're going to be looking at different times in our lives, or we're going to be feeling these different times where we kind of slunk away, where we didn't think that we were worth the fight, or we didn't think that we could, fight for ourselves or go after what we want. We undersold ourselves. This is a time where we can't undersell ourselves. This is a time of intensity. This is a time of passion. This is a time of determination. We're going to be facing things that we don't want to face, but we're needing to stand in our power and in our strength. Because we've been working so hard to get here, we've been working so hard to move forward in the direction that we want. This is not only our hard work at work, this is our hard work at home. This is our hard work with the challenges and the tribulations that divinity has thrown our way, and it throws us off our game. And it makes us look at things in a way that says, I'm worth this. I am worth my prosperity. I am worth my success. I am worth my power to move forward. And it also has us looking at all the hurt and the pain that we have been through. This is what throws us off our game. This is what makes us look at things in a very real way, in a very powerful way, in a very intense way. We're taking the swords out of our back. We're taking the swords out of our wounds and saying this wound doesn't need to keep bleeding. It doesn't need to keep hurting. It needs to start healing. And yes, it will act up. When the weather is bad, when I overwork the muscle, the scars will come forward. They always do. But what we're going to see here with the Three of Swords is that we're not willing to live in pain and hurt and disappointment anymore. And as we start to raise our face to the sun, as we start to see our joys in life, not only our pains and our disappointments, it moves us to prosperity and success and bounty and abundance coming in. It moves us to actually being able to take the gift from God, Source, Spirit, however we see the divine, the universe, taking this gift and moving ourselves forward, taking this gift and seeing ourselves transform. We're entering into the next chapter. And as we enter into this next chapter, we enter into a power and a determination for ourselves. This could be the smallest little thing that means the biggest to us, that means the most. It's a recognition. It's a recognition of our own power. It's a recognition of the way that we want to move forward in our lives. It's looking at things with honesty and openness for ourselves and what we desire. And as we do this, we're looking at the past. We're looking at the things that come up that make us think, I can't. I either can't replicate this, or these are the hurtful, hateful words that were spoken over me that made me scared, that made me gun shy, that made me overwhelmed as I'm trying to move forward into the prosperity of my life. This is what keeps knocking me down. This is what we're facing here. As we're getting these gifts, as we're getting this prosperity to move us forward, we're looking at all the hurt and the pain that has been with us for so long, that it can just feel like it's supposed to be there. We're supposed to doubt ourselves. That teacher telling us that we weren't any good at art or at math or whatever was there to help us. It wasn't there to ruin a child's dream. That parent, that caregiver that yelled at us and made us feel worthless, they were trying to make us better, make us stronger, make us tougher. They weren't taking out their own aggression on us. Now we're stopping, taking the blame on ourselves, or thinking that the hurtful, hateful words were trying to help us. The lover who always told us our faults and never our blessings. We're done with it. Now is a time where we start to look at our happiness. Not the happiness for everybody else. It's our happiness. I love this card because it always makes me think of an ancient Nordic saying. And the saying is, better to be king of a cottage than servant in a castle. And that's what we're seeing here. It's better to own my own world and embrace it fully and absolutely than be striving towards something that is opulent and everybody can see its opulence, but it brings me misery inside. This is a time where we start looking at our dreams and our wishes and our hopes and our desires. We start looking at laughter and love and joy, and we let ourselves move forward in it. We're coming to a completion of a cycle within our hearts, and that has us owning our hearts. It moves us to the Five of Pentacles. It moves us to the poverty mentality that's in the public arena, that's in this public world. Now, it can be just from the world in general, this sense of lack, this sense of fear, the sense of scarcity. The Five of Pentacles comes through. And it says, don't fall prey to this. Don't believe in this. There is enough. And there will always be enough. But these are the times where we were raised with money issues. If we were raised with money issues, or if we had a partner who always yelled at us for spending, or had money issues themselves, we're going to see here that all the issues around money, all the issues also around our own prosperity and our own ability to be successful, they start to come to the surface. And we need to look them dead in the eye. Because the repeat of the number 5 has us winning. It definitely has us winning. But it has the road being intense. 5 is all about freedom. It's all about conquering battles that we thought were going to be immense. But it brings us to a place here where we look at the curse of money. We look at what has held us back. And we say, enough is enough. I get to be successful within my life. I get to be prosperous. And we start to hone ourselves towards that prosperity. It will take time. This will not happen overnight. It will take time. It takes dedication. It takes so long to break old patterns and old habits and the hurtful, hateful words that tumble in our heads. But it leads us. It leads us as we look at this, as we, call out the anger and the pain. It leads us to being the king of our own existence and ourselves. It leads us to knowing that we rule only us and nobody else. And so we will do so with pride and with determination and with focus and with greatness. It leads us to becoming great. It leads us to embracing the King of Cups. This sense of power, this sense of prosperity, this sense of I get to have more than anything I ever realized. Because this is part of my life and my destiny. We're the king. The second highest, the only one higher to us here with the King of Cups in ourselves is the Death card, is the representation of our own soul. We start to lead ourselves forward, embracing with determination and focus what we love and what we want within our lives. Knowing that this life, this is for us. and we get to shine brighter than we ever thought we could shine. It brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and it's the Lord. It is the sense of you will do as you are told. And we're going to be drawn to these people. I don't know why. These people who are overpowering, these people who are, no, I do know why. It's because their authority is going to feel comforting. It's going to feel like, oh, well, they're trying to make me safe, or, oh, they have my best interests at heart. They don't. They have their own power at heart. And that's what they're really going after here. So be mindful of it. It leads us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is communication, the throat chakra. Spirit is going to be communicating with us. We need to communicate with us what we want, what we desire, how we want to move forward, where it is that we want to be. We're also going to be having open communications with others on a higher plane than just words. We're going to feel what they're feeling, and that can be overwhelming and at times a little bit terrifying. So be prepared. And if we can't handle this right now, say to Spirit, I can't have this on my plate. At our root, we have the Emperor coming through. So we have the warning of being mindful of the Lord, the Emperor in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And we have the Emperor coming through here at our root, that Aries energy coming through very powerfully, very determinedly as we're moving forward. And it's a sense of I'm claiming my throne. I'm going after what I desire. I'm embracing what I want from my life. And nothing and no one will stop me or hold me back. And as we do this, we embrace the power of ourselves and the determination of who we are and where we want to be in our lives. It moves us to our subconscious inner self, and it's the Hierophant. This is our sister sign. Taurus energy, the Hierophant is our sister sign. And so, like a sister, they can build us up and they can knock us down like no other. And we have that energy here, what we're facing. When we're facing trials and tribulations that we've been through that we don't want to see ever again. And yet there's a determination here. There's a sense of I'm stepping into my power. I hold the keys to my destiny. I'm moving forward for me. And everybody else can kind of take a long walk off a short pier. It brings us to this place of work and dedication, of follow through, of us seeing our own hard work and us really starting to honor and respect the journey that we are on. Others see it too. Others do. But we are seeing it within ourselves. And that becomes the game changer. That becomes the real thing that propels us forward. And this is going to be a time where we see ourselves and we see what we deeply desire more clearly if we step back and we let ourselves see. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self, and that is the Knight of Cups. This is us as the guardian, as the warrior of our heart. We are moving above the chaos of the world. We have our heart chakra wrapped around us. Our heart is our guard, and our heart is also worn on our sleeves. We love fully and tremendously, but we are moving towards something more than even we realize. And it's towards happiness and blessings. It's towards a release. It brings us to our public arena self, and it's the Magician. As above, so below. As we believe it, so it becomes. And this is a time where what we spend our time thinking about and focusing on manifests within our lives tenfold. We are embracing our magic. We have the High Priestess and we have the Magician. The magic is a part of us during this time. We stand before the altar of our existence, and we are also mysterious in the way that we take in our blessings, in the way that we see our world and guide us forward. There is power here, and we were born to embrace this power. We just have to realize that it's our time, and we have to see what we are ready for when we take it into our lives and we move ourselves forward. All right, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this time. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio.